What's up, everybody? Welcome once again to the My Walkman Talk Show. And today we're doing this recording in person for the first time this year.
Wow,
Woo!
that's nice.
And with me, as always, is
It's Marcos, and today we are going to be continuing with our daily podcast talking about businesses youth can engage in, talking about things to help ginger the youths of our generation to do
Exactly.
something more profitable
exactly,
and make ends meet. Thank
exactly,
you.
exactly. So, as always, we're not professionals, we're not experts, we're not necessarily giving you die-hard advice to follow through. We ourselves were also looking for advice. If you are somebody that's into any of this business we are discussing and you want to correct some of the things we say, we would gladly have you on here. So we're just trying to put ourselves out there to change the narrative of the Nigerian youth and try to just discuss various ways Nigerian youth can make ends meet, like Marcus has said.
Right, like we always say, we are not professionals. We are
Exactly.
just young guys trying to say things and do things that we feel is beneficiary to the youth of our time. So,
Exactly.
as usual, constructive criticism is welcome. Whatever you have to add, you can drop it in the comment section, and then we'll talk about it in our next session.
Awesome.
Thank you. Today, we're going to be talking about jobs, handworks that you can learn as a youth that is going to fetch you money in the long run and in the short run. Those jobs that you have to pay money to learn. That's what we are focusing on today, and we're going to be talking from hairdressing to barbing to different skills to electrician to wedding. So we're just going to pick a few and then we're going to talk about it. So as usual, if you are in any of these feeds, you can do well to drop your view in the comment section so that other people can learn from it. Thank you.
Exactly. So some of the fields, like you said, we're looking at hairdressing, barbing, also we're looking at makeup, right?
Yeah,
So
will look at
any skill in particular, you just require somebody to show you how it's done, and then you start doing it for yourself, and you start using it to sustain yourself, basically. So first key for today, let's say hairdressing. So how can an hairdresser, is it male,
a male or a female, you can be a hairdresser. So even as a guy, you can do it. Even in most situations, if the girls nowadays they prefer guys because guys handle with more care. So as a guy, you're even encouraged
to be an
hairdresser because
I have heard that
you'll
also
get more
somewhere
clients.
before. I don't understand how it works, but they just once ladies just say, oh, the guy's an hairdresser, they want him to make their hair more. So yeah, that's something. So how do you get started now being a male hairdresser in Nigeria
Or a female hairdresser.
female hairdresser? So
basically, like everything you need to learn, you need to put in work and time. It's all about time. It's going to take time. So learning it, there are different places you can go and learn for some for
a problem now
particular
most people would face for hairdressing now is the fact that most salon, when you go to learn how to you want to be an hairdresser, they ask for this initial payments, maybe they have to pay 20,000 or so. I don't know if that's it's a thing, right?
Yeah, it's a thing. You have to pay for some. I think some of those payments, which I would say some are not really necessary, but then they want you to pay to just show your seriousness, to buy tools for you that you'll be using to work. So those are some of the things.
Those are some of the challenges now someone can face. Like for instance, now you want to start doing hairdressing, but you don't have that initial payment to give to the salon to buy equipment. So how can someone get over that now? How do you go about a situation like that?
Okay.
Let's think on that.
I
Let's
think
let's
there
pontificate.
there are some government organizations and all those workshop where they actually come once in a while. They just
Yeah,
give you like 2 weeks free training, 3 weeks free training.
there
You
used to
cannot
be a
become an
place.
expert
Mm,
totally from that.
mm,
So for any work you are going to learn, except you see someone that want to teach you for free, you're
mm,
actually going to spend to
mm.
become an expert. Just like every other thing you want to be an expert in.
I don't know if we've talked about this previously on this show. How can you get money? Let's say you just want 1,000 naira today now. What can you do to get 1,000 naira today?
Yeah, that's that
Like,
that's a question. That's actually something very
I'm just here now.
serious.
Sakwa don't owe me, and I need 1K, and I can't call my friends to send me because I don't borrow from all of them already. So how can I get, let's just 1,000 naira now? Do we have any type of work you can do, daily job, to get 1,000 naira?
Yeah, there are some things you can do deliveries and
Deliveries.
yeah,
Deliveries
because
in what sense?
you can connect yourself with a business and then you'll be handling their deliveries and then maybe you'll just be getting some small tips
Well,
from
if we're
them.
looking at that case now, I just, for instance, now I come to your store, maybe you do deliveries, and I just meet you and like, oh, I want to do deliveries. You've never seen me before.
Let's just face it now. The only way you can get money is that you have to work. So the work jobs that you can do to get money, maybe some of all these mania jobs like just clean somewhere for somebody. Those are just the easiest ones. Not putting
Well,
too
how can
much
you get
labor
those? How can you get those jobs
by
now?
asking people for it.
So, okay, let's look at, well, just trying to analyze the situation now. Say, for instance, now I'm in a critical situation. I need 1,000 naira, maybe more than 1,000 naira. Let's say for this hairdressing, something we're talking about now, the starter fee is 20,000, and I need that 20,000. I don't have anybody to support me. I don't want to do anything illegal. So, what do I do now to get that 20,000? So, if I'm looking at some things now, I'm just talking some ideas off the top of my head from what Marcus just said. Meeting people for jobs, menial jobs. So I don't know if people would be like, if I meet someone, I'm like, oh, I want to wash your clothes for you. Can I sweep the compound? Can I do this thing? Like, what kind of menial? I feel this is one of the problem in this country.
Yeah, this is
Like,
one of the problem because then
yeah,
nobody will wants to offer you first of all.
yes,
But I've seen situations where people come to my place and ask for things like that. So I've actually seen most time we don't give them because we are still looking for our own money. We don't have that money. A job we can actually do by ourselves.
yeah,
Not paying somebody to do it when we don't have enough. That's where it is. And most of these big, let me say, wealthy people already have somebody that's going to do
do
those
it
things
soon
for
for
them.
them.
So
It's
I
a
don't really
really,
know. It's a
yeah,
very,
it's a
it's
difficult
something
question.
to actually
Yes, it's
calm
something,
down very well.
yeah, to pontificate on.
Yeah, because
It's
it's something
yeah,
actually to think, and we need to
we need to figure out
see how we can build a
that's part of,
society where
yes,
anybody
yes, you can
can
start off from
start off something
something
from
and
somewhere.
you can really get somewhere. So
Because
basically, the whole idea, or if you're out there, if you ever come across this recording, we are looking for ways.
yeah, we need your
We need your opinions.
opinions,
We need your
your
feedback, and
Yeah.
just tell us so we can tell our listeners, we can
Yeah.
tell other people, like, okay, if you are looking for 20,000, this menial job, you can do it to get this amount of money. You can do this type of job in this amount of time, and you can go somewhere. So that's just it, sha. But for instance, let's say maybe you have a family
That can sponsor you.
sponsor you, or a friend that will sponsor you. So those are some other ways you can get started if you want to become an hairdresser.
And then you can also get a job like bartender, those kind of jobs. Work, save up, and learn.
But one thing I've noticed about those type of jobs, they are not readily available at your location, and then you have to start paying transport
Yeah, to look for.
to look for those type of job, which is kind of like a
But I would say
Like a
there is always
mm,
job available.
mm,
Almost always there's always something available for those kind of jobs, like looking for a sales girl, someone looking for a receptionist, a bartender. I think they are always available. It's just, do you want to do that, and are you willing to go and look for it? That's just the thing. Because there are new hotels going up, there are new bars coming up, there are new places that need services coming up every time. And there are people that are resigning from their work every time. So it's for you to look. You actually have to look for it.
Another thing though, in those type of jobs that I've noticed is the fact that these jobs don't pay so well.
Yes, that's one thing.
Looking at what we're saying now, you're saying you're looking for 20,000 to start learning hairdressing. First of all, let's say maybe your time of learning this hairdressing, that 20,000 is definitely not the only money you are going to need. So how do you, because this country it's really interesting, because these are things that are supposed to be in place sort of by the government, but they are not, and that's kind of what we're trying to do on this podcast. We're trying to okay, since the government isn't doing anything for us, we the youths, we the community ourselves, let's try and do something for ourselves. Let's try and answer these questions, these difficult questions on how can somebody start from nothing, get a little, and move to something. Exactly.
As the question, we are open for your answer.
For your answers.
Because that's a very critical thing.
Exactly.
In setting up yourself.
And one thing is like an hungry man, they say, is an angry man. So once you're hungry, once you're uncomfortable, you can't buy stuff, you can't do anything, you are just not really thinking so well. You're just moving about, and you're not stable, and you can easily.
Some people will say, okay, what we call pokpo work now, like going to carry cement and all these things, where they pay you 2K daily or so. 2K daily, and then you feed from there. You transport back to your house from there. You probably get drugs from there. How much can you save? And those jobs are not jobs that is coming that is constant. Maybe you can work for a week, that's 7 days, and then you stop because that level of your need is no longer required there.
Exactly.
What you can offer is no longer required in that side. So how can you save for that 7 weeks, for that 7 days or 1 month? Say?
Exactly.
What can you save to start off something very good for yourself?
And one thing I've noticed as well, from what you just said now, I'm not trying to stereotype any niche of people or try to create any form of separatism whatsoever. But a category of people now, let's say recent graduates now, like we've talked about in previous episodes, they won't be so inclined as to going to do those type of jobs.
They won't.
It doesn't mean they are lazy. It doesn't mean they feel the job is above them. But it's just, to an extent, it's not really dignified.
And even apart from being dignified or what, everybody does not have the same strength.
Yes,
we need to be very, because most time people give this advice that go and do this, go and look at your mate. Everybody does not have the same strength.
Yes.
people cannot endure the same thing others can endure. So we
Endure.
should always be putting that in our mind when advising people to go into certain things
Exactly.
that are tedious, especially things that are tedious.
Exactly.
So we should start looking at that. But now we need to look for the simplest
Curve to settle
curve,
all
yeah.
aspects of people. For those that are physically strong, even the Kwankwa work itself is not even available for them. Those that are willing to do it and are physically capable, some of them still have a difficult time finding these jobs. And there's like an organization around it now that you have to like be part of, and the saving itself, like you can't even really save what you are getting from these jobs. And
with the situation of the country where things are high, expenses are so much right now, and you just cannot survive on some kind of finance that you get. You can't survive on that.
Exactly.
So how can you build something for yourself?
Exactly.
Is what we want to know. Government, most times they set up these free training stuffs for people to go and do. Some other NGOs.
And the truth is that those free training the government set up, I don't know.
They are not extensive enough.
Yes, I don't think I've
broad.
even
They just
seen
give you
anybody.
the
I've not really even seen anybody that gone through any of those training
and did something big,
meaningful from it. Like it's just kind of like an initial boost, and afterwards they just
teach you that okay, this is what you can do. You can actually do this.
This and so.
But then there are some NGOs that give you extensive training, like 3 months free training, 6 months free training.
Can you list anyone?
I think there was one in Delta State Saple one time. Is it not Omar Shoya? Oh, there's one name. This man, he does it in opposite Saple clinic. He renders free training for tailoring, hairdressing, and even
but one
baking. Cook, yeah.
Yeah, but one other thing now,
and it empowers them with tools. Like if you are doing this thing, it gives you a machine after you graduate. So I think that's one of the ones I know.
So okay, you've heard it. Mashallah, is that what you
said? I'm not getting the name right now. Maybe before the end of the show, I will be able to remember the name.
Okay, but that's one way now that we've just kind of like talked about and brought up. Meeting an NGO to kind of finance you, or to some of the ways meeting an NGO. If you have a family member or friend, you can still borrow money from. Because everybody hide your head.
Everybody need money.
Everybody need money. So if you around someone who's generous enough to still borrow you money in these times, then you're one of the lucky ones. So, but seriously speaking, though, we need a way that could cut across all. What do you call it now? All individual categories, all individuals, for the strong,
that support all the systems.
For the physically strong, for the mentally strong, for the emotionally strong, for those people who can't do pom-pom work because they are not physically capable. Even for those who can do it, we need a system that can work and be like, okay, you need a pom-pom work.
You
get it. And if you need like something to do that's more intellectually stressful, you get it. So we don't know the solution for it yet. So what we're trying to do here is part of it, putting our voice out there so that the public or the general public can give their opinions and try and learn from each other. So that's exactly what we're just doing here. So I think we've talked enough on hairdressing and what you need, the challenges you have, and
I think we've talked about the problem in society as respect to getting finance to start up something, because we said today we want to be talking about skills you can learn, hand jobs like you can learn, and most of these things cost money. Some as low as 50,000 to as high as 500,000 to just learn a job, a skill.
Yeah.
So we're looking at, okay, what if somebody that does not have anything, nobody's supporting him, how can he do this thing? So that's the challenge we have pointed at here, and we hope you guys can
Add your
throw your own light. But
Like
then for those that are privileged to have money, to have people that can sponsor them, we are looking at hairdressing now as a case study. We'll start with hairdressing, we can move on to welding,
generally any form of skill learning work.
barbing. So we're going to be doing hairdressing with barbing together, a barber and a hairdresser. So you go to a shop now, you register, and then you learn. After learning, okay, like how long will it take for you to be good?
One thing I would point out to for people who want to learn skill, it's a very common situation to find yourself in. When you make an attempt to learn a skill, initially, after the initial boost, after the initial dopamine, the initial enjoyment of it, if you are not passionate about that skill, just don't learn it. Actually, if you feel, aside of the fact that okay, maybe you want to make money while doing this thing, I want you to still have it at the back of your mind that this would take time actually for you to start making good enough money from it.
Yeah.
Because if you are just learning to say, oh, let me just learn, and you really have to like commit a good amount of time into the skill that you want to learn to really get very, very good at it, so that you can get to that point where you are making good amount of money from that skill. Except maybe you're just doing it part-time, waiting for something else that you're really interested in.
But another thing is that more than 50% of those that learn a skill, they are not really passionate, I would say.
Yes, exactly.
About it.
That's one thing that I'm trying to
But
point out.
some of them become very good at it. So in the Nigerian society, the driving force of everybody, of most people, is poverty. I know what I'm saying. Like,
exactly.
the fact that you don't want to be poor, you don't enjoy what you're doing, but you put in the work.
Exactly.
You just have to put in the work. You don't enjoy it one bit. You don't enjoy spending 2 hours in fixing someone's hair.
Yeah.
But then you put in the work, and then you discover generally what we are trying to say is that you need to put in work, whether you like it or not.
Exactly.
If you know you want to make money from it, you just put in the work.
Exactly. Thank you for that correction. It's, aside from passion, aside of being passionate about it, you have to really dedicate to putting in the work
to be good at
to be really good at it before you can see a return. Because if you are doing it passively and just like, oh, let me just do it, it won't take you. You won't get anything from it.
Another thing, Seth, if you don't want to use it to make money now, it's still good for you to have a skill that can come in handy in the future. Because we've seen cases where people go to school, they didn't plan on making money from the hairdressing, but then they got to school and then they saw a market that they can dive in, and then you see these girls in the hostel, they start making hairs for their fellow girls and they're making money. So they didn't plan it that, okay, some of them.
So this is for people that maybe you just finished like secondary school now.
Yes.
Before you enter university. So other for
that
those
not be
now,
idle.
Yeah. For those now that have finished university now.
Those ones now the ones that whatever skill you are learning after you finish university, you want to use it to work.
Exactly.
You want to use it to make money.
So you have to really double down on those ones. Like once you know you don't graduate to, nobody they send you money again. Nobody go send you some money.
There's no job anyway. You just need to create something for yourself.
And double down and try to like figure it out like tooth and nail and make ends meet with that. So that's much of what we have to say for now. So next up, I think we've covered most of it now.
Yeah, we've covered the basic things that you really need for any, even if we use hairdressing as a case study. For any skill you want to acquire, physical skill you want to use to work and
based in Nigeria. If you are based in
Nigeria society, but it can also come in handy when you are leaving the country.
Yes, it can come in
use
handy.
One thing is what you've known it, yes. And then it's going to come in handy.
One of the benefits of these foreign countries is the broad availability of menial jobs.
Yes,
those are some of the things now that we don't have here. So if we have a lot of those here too, maybe this discussion would be different. We'll probably be talking about, okay, get a menial job, work at McDonald's or something like that to generate funds to finance your dream. But unfortunately, we don't have enough of those here. Not that we don't have, we have, but it's not enough.
Cannot service you.
Yes, cannot service the entire citizen and the youths and the unemployed.
The unemployed youths.
Yeah, the unemployed youths. So right now we are also throwing a question out to the public. So the question, we discussed it earlier on in this podcast, and we asked, if you are on your own, you don't have any friends, you don't have any family to call, and you need 1,000 naira steadily to gather up so you can maybe use to finance your training, whatever that you want to do. So how do you go about doing that? That's a question.
Yes, how do you go about it, and how much is it available?
Yes.
Because now you're going to say, go and clean somebody's house, go and clear grass. How available is it?
How available it is, yes, exactly. So not just how it is, but how frequently can you get those jobs?
Like that?
Say, okay, you are saying, okay, go and clear grass, like you said now. How many grass can you clear in your immediate neighborhood to gather enough money to finance your skill acquisition, training, and whatever you want to participate in? So it's something that we'll just continue thinking about, continue asking more and more people. And
we want your feedback, we want your advice, your opinions. We just need you to throw more light on these things so that we can learn.
So if there's something going on in your own environment now that's kind of financing this question we asked, if there's someone that has answered this question, you can bring that person up to, like, okay, throw more light on it. So,
and then if there's any opportunity you think you have or you know about, you can just drop it in the comment section for other people to. Basically, what we are doing here, we want to build a very strong community of vibrant youth that everybody is well to do and everybody is taking care of themselves.
Exactly.
Without the government support for now. We know Nigeria is getting better, but now we don't have the government support, so let's work on that first.
Exactly.
Thank you.
So that's just all we're trying to do with this talk show. Like you said, I'm going to reiterate for emphasis.
Yes.
Building a strong community, building a strong network of well-to-do youths.
Especially the youths.
So everybody who's as from age of maybe from SS2, SS3,
from 15 to 40.
Yeah. So
start doing something.
If you are doing something, if you have ideas, if you have solution to the problem of poverty in this country, that's exactly what we're looking for. People are too damn poor. So we need to bridge that gap between the rich, the very rich, and the poor in this
So
country.
right now we don't have middle class.
We don't
So,
even have middle class.
all right.
Exactly.
That brings us to the end of today's discussion. We hope you've been able to learn something, and we hope we have been able to impact you in the little way we can. You'll hear from us more.
Definitely.
So thank you, and
Thank you
God
for your
bless you.
time, and hope to see you on the next one.